Beatmaking Basics.
What's going on YouTube? Beatmaking Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because we're coming back to back with bangers. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on Suno and AI as applies to music producers and the music production community. So let's go ahead and go to the website. This is Suno. And if you're brand new, you've been living on a rock, basically Suno.com is a service for people, and I'm not going to say even music creators, just anybody, you know what I'm saying? It's because technically we're not creating the music, Suno is. So this is not for music creators. This is for anybody who wants to make music. You don't have to have talent. You don't have to have anything. Literally, you just think of what you want, type it in, and it will pretty much get it for you. For someone who's been producing music, making beats, licensing his music, different things like that, I have mixed emotions and feelings about this. But the truth of it is we're pretty much evolving in the general as producers and creators and stuff like that. If you look at everything, man, like when we first started making music, like, you know what I'm saying? At least I can speak for myself. When I first started making music, it was all about the workstation. You save up about $1,500, $1,200. You go get you a Phantom X6 or get you a Motif or a Triton. You feel me? And you would make your beats on that. And then you would have to go to the studio, or you would have to go ahead and get Pro Tools or something like that. And then, export your files into Pro Tools or record your files into Pro Tools, mix it, do all that type of stuff. So that's the type of school of thought that I'm coming from. And then seeing everything evolve, seeing how first people would, take real records, put it on a record player, sample it in like that, then evolving from, tapes and records to CDs. Then we got done away with the CDs, right? And then we started going towards, just files, just straight to it, just MP3s and stuff like that. Then we started getting to the point where we had royalty-free samples and loops, right? Before, there was no way to get royalty-free samples or loops unless you hit up a musician, took them to the studio, or had paid them by the hour to go ahead and create a guitar lick, or, if it was a drummer, could create drums or whatever it is, right? And, there was a big push on that, like, oh, you using loops, you're not a real producer, da 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 da. It was a big talk on that when loops first came out, and even Splice, right? We was hating on that. We just didn't want it. And then people eventually started using loops, and loops started being like a real thing, to the point where you have a whole groups of producers, and that's all they do is make loops. Okay, they're not even making the beat anymore. They're just making loops, send it out. Other producers cook up to them, and then they split it, right? What's so crazy with this Suno, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's not really going to take too much time for us to really, adopt this fully, is that Suno could pretty much create the loops, the same loops and everything that we get from other producers or from a Splice or whatever, but at a fraction of the cost, and you own all the rights to it. It's a crazy deal. Mind-blowing song quality. I'm not even going to go ahead and demo what this does and all that. This is not what the video is. I'm just going to share my thoughts on it. Because the quality is crazy. I've heard this. I've made a couple, played around with this before, and it's insane. But for me, I think there's still an opportunity with this. I think a lot of people are probably concerned, but I think it's an opportunity. The opportunity is that, first of all, everybody's going to have access and ability to create music. So it could be a downfall to producers, but I think it's a bigger opportunity. If you know how to actually create your own beats from scratch, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can create your own melodies, your own drum patterns, your own everything. I think that as music progresses, we're going to be able to stand out in the marketplace, even though there's going to be a point in time where and even now we're in that stage where you're pretty much not going to be able to tell the difference because these guys are taking these AI models and training them off of real people, and they got them to the point. But it just goes to the same school of thought. Like, do you want something authentic, or do you want something manufactured? Do you want something organic? Like, if you're eating groceries, you want organic stuff, or you just want the regular stuff? You feel me? And that's what we're going to be getting to, right? Let's talk about if I'm going to start using Suno. Right now, I'm not necessarily against it. It's only $8 a month, okay? And you can get access to all these different things. But I feel like this is a crazy cheat code, man. Literally the process of becoming a music creator, right? Back in the day, or even, the process of becoming a music creator, no matter what you did in music, you had to spend hours upon days, upon weeks, upon months, upon years developing your craft, developing your sound. It doesn't matter if you were a songwriter. You had to write thousands of songs just to get good. It doesn't matter if you're a rapper or a singer or whatever. And if you're a producer, you had to make thousands of beats and loops or hundreds of thousands. You know what I'm saying? You had to make a lot of music just to get good, because you had to figure out how to, lay down hi-hats the right way, lay down your snare the right way, and all this type, put everything in time and all that type of stuff. You had to learn how to, if you didn't know how to, maybe you know how to make dope drums, but you don't know how to do the loops, right? So then if you didn't have another producer you can collab with, or if you didn't have the money to pay a musician, you would have to what? Take the time to learn on your own. So this gives an opportunity for the person who does not know anything about music, does not know how to, put together stuff. You can just come in here and create. So that's good for the general public, but it also could be a detriment to the community as well going forward. What do y'all think, man? Do y'all think this is going to be a opportunity? You see the opportunity in this, or do y'all think that this is kind of something that's going to be bad here? Because technically you could take this and use this to create your own loops, sample packs, all types of stuff. Take those sample packs and loops. You can still bring them into Logic or whatever and doctor it up some and still kind of take it and make it your own. But let me know what y'all thinking in the comment section below, man. Would y'all buy an AI generated sample pack? Do you think that should just be free? Because technically, an AI generated sample pack, you could just come over here and create your own sample pack. It's only $8, and if you could do, they say 500 songs a month. Like, come on. So, I'll just say for me right now, I'm not going to be touching Suno yet to make my loops or any of that. And the only reason why is just because I feel like the opportunity is that while everybody goes this way trying to do a whole bunch of AI music and stuff, there's still going to be a need for authentic producers to actually create this from scratch. You feel me? And that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and end the video. Make sure you go to my website, beatmakingbasics.com. Join our monthly membership here on YouTube for extra videos. And without further ado, like I said, we're out. Appreciate you.